But all of a sudden, the people were flowing all over the compound, and the yelling continued. The towel that I was wiping Johnson with, I came with it still holding on it because I could feel Johnson in that towel. So I sat somewhere till morning with that towel on. I was covering myself with that towel, wiping my eyes, but I was just holding on it because to me I was like I was holding on Johnson. I could feel Johnson in that towel. I held on that towel until morning. As we sat until morning, because you just know in the village how people are. We sat until morning. So in the morning around again 6, I didn't even take a shower. I didn't even take something. All I wanted was to see Johnson. So with my mother-in-law, with my brother-in-law again, we drove back to Eldoret Referral Hospital, where I had left Johnson. And reaching there, I found my sister there. And I was like, how did you come? But he said, no, Rose, don't worry, I'm here for you. And surprisingly, I was being told, be strong. And I was like, be strong for what? I've been strong for Johnson all throughout. I don't need to be told to be strong. And instead of us walking to the ward, I was being walked now to the morgue. And I was like, what? Why are we going to the mortuary? It can't be. And my sister tried to hold me, and I could not. It was not making sense to me why we were going there instead of going to the ward where we had left Johnson. But when we reached inside, I saw Johnson's body lying there helplessly, other bodies there, and it was like, so it is true, that yelling was right, my husband is dead. I think that's the time it hit me that now he's dead. And I think it hit me so hard, really hard. I couldn't see life without Johnson. We had a lot of plans. The plans we were talking about in the hospital. Where are they going to go? How will I manage things? I had 1,001 questions there. But I'm looking at the way his body was lying there, I didn't like that place at all. So I came out, I called his office, and I informed him that my husband is dead. Because my husband was a police officer, so I was told to report in Eldoret Police Headquarters. I went there, I reported there, and I came back to Nairobi. So when I came back to Nairobi now, I had now it seems even the news had already reached Nairobi. We started the plans for the funeral arrangement. But deep inside, I wanted my husband to come to Nairobi because to me, Nairobi is and was our home. This is where we had lived the whole of our life. So this is where our family is. This is where our friends are. This is where my church is. So I thought it was good for my husband to come back here so that his friends who could not make it to go home could see him and could stand with us. I could take him to church where we used to go and to St. Stephen's Church. So I went straight to my pastor and I told my pastor. They prayed with me, funeral arrangements started, family members came and they started making the meetings as usual. So meetings started for the funeral, and meanwhile the following day I went to my boss, then I traveled back to Eldoret to pick the body and bring the body back to Nairobi. So as the funeral arrangements were going on, the body was already here. It took us about a week. Then in a week's time, we are done with the funeral arrangement. We took Johnson to church, St. Stephen's, and after the service for the church, we went back to home. We traveled up country at night for the burial. All was well so far, so good. People were there for me, his friends were there for me. All the arrangements, they stepped in, they really stepped in, and Johnson was given a very decent send-off, which I really appreciate. People really stood up with me, and I didn't have any problem for funeral arrangement, picking the coffin, clothes, all that I did it, but I had people standing with me. And when we reached at home, the funeral went on okay. The church at home took over. We finished the funeral, then people came back. So when people came back, I thought it was good for me and the kids to remain home. And we were at home for I thought it's good I take 7 days just to mourn my husband at home in the village. I stayed at home, that is up country, for 7 days. So before the 7 days, my neighbor called me and told me, no,